What's up, you guys? Welcome to another video. My name is Zanani Sizani, and I am your resident Christian health and wellness girl. And I just want to welcome you guys to this video, and I hope that you guys are having a good day. Um, Mine was slightly, because Mother Mary has come to visit. Too much information, but yeah. So today has been a little bit of a chat. Has been a little bit of a drag because yeah, life as a woman, right? So as you guys can see, we are talking about beef tallow today. If you are into skincare, if you're into just TikTok in general, I'm not much into TikTok, but I'm into skincare, so I keep up with the trends, okay? And my skin is looking pretty much better lately, huh? All right. Maybe I'm doing something good. Anyway, so we're going to talk about beef tallow because it's blowing up the internet. Okay, and yeah. All right, so today we're going to talk about beef tallow. I thought this would be like a great thing to talk about because that's what my blog is about, just exploring these ingredients, skincare ingredients, and finding out if they're actually good or not, or like are they really natural, or go all these things, because this whole channel, this whole health and wellness, for me it's about holistic living. So really go opting more for natural ingredients, for the natural approach, or like the original approach to skincare, to hair care, to all these things, right? So I thought it's fitting because beef tallow is really blowing up the internet. It's really blowing up the internet. But I also know that in a couple of months or in the next year, it might not be as great anymore, especially when it comes. I've noticed that when it comes to natural ingredients, people go wah about it, and then those who then partake in it and things don't go well, then they're like, oh no, it didn't work well. So then kind like the hype kind of dies down, and then people say, oh no, it's bad, or like there's always like we can never find a middle ground. So today what we're going to do when it comes to beef tallow is trying to find a middle ground. So what is beef tallow? So for those of you who don't know, beef tallow is basically you take the and tallow is not, beef tallow is beef tallow, so it's tallow from a cow or like beef, but tallow, the word tallow, it's actually an umbrella word where it can be lamb tallow, it can be all the meats that have, like, it's the fat of the meat, right? So what happens is that people, they take like beef meat or beef fat meat, right? And then what they do is they render it, meaning like they boil it for hours, I think in water. I think a lot of people, or yeah, people, they will boil it in water, like no spices, no nothing, boil it in water to extract that fat from the meat, right? And then so what happens is that they extract that fat from the meat, and then they let the fat melt, and then they continuously then, like with it, it will end up looking like this waxy thing. So like with meat fat, right? When it's in a solid room temperature, it kind of solidifies. So when it solidifies, then they like scrape off like the excess fat that didn't get to solidify, and then they do that process over and over again, so until that brown part is completely removed, that excess fat is completely removed. And then a lot of people then will go on to use it as a cooking oil, or now currently it is trending for a skincare ingredient, right? So we are going to talk about it in terms of skincare, but we will also touch on it as a cooking oil. So that's basically the part where you render beef tallow into a cooking oil or into a skincare whip, right? Cool. So what are the benefits of beef tallow? So the benefits for beef tallow for skincare is that it's high in oleic acid. Now, oleic acid it's a saturated fat, right? Let me just make sure, but I know it to be a saturated fat. So normally saturated fats, it's your coconut oils, your what is it? Yeah, coconut oils, so on and so forth, so but sometimes it's those fats that it's a good fat, but at the same time you should have it at a recommended amount, so if you have too much of saturated fats, that's why it gets such a bad name, the word saturated fats. But not all saturated fats are actually bad. It's just you need to have them at a, I'm looking for the word, man, at a moderate amount. Yes, you're supposed to have it like at a moderate amount. So beef tallow is a saturated fat because it comes from a cow meat or whatever meat, right? And it's and one thing about saturated fats is they are known to solidify in solid room temperatures. So whenever the room is not too hot, or it's cold, that thing, it will like solidify, so it's going to be like it's iced. So so just like coconut oil, it's not gonna be oily, it's not gonna have the same consistency in different room temperatures. So same with beef tallow. So now it's high in oleic acid, and it's also high in uh palmitic acid. So palmitic acid, it's also what's found in palm oil, and I think no, and a lot of oils, but some oils have, like, if you know anything about carrier oils, it's that some oils will be higher in certain fatty acids, because because of that, the structure of the fatty acids, the oils have all like then behave differently. So that's why you find that some oils solidify, like coconut oil, and palm oil also solidifies in because of the fatty acid structure of it. So now we know that beef tallow is high in oleic acid, and that's very important, because the fatty acids like oleic acids, there's linoleic acid, they interact differently with different different skin types, right? So you find that oleic acid is good for people who have like dry skin because it's more dense, it's more thicker, whereas oleic acid, linoleic acid will be much better for someone with oily skin or combination skin because it's a lightweight oil. So it's very important to know these things because you will know whether beef tallow or is for you or not, because some people are going to say, oh, it's working great, it's a lot of people say it matches your sebum. So the sebum is basically your skin oil, your natural oils from your skin, so it matches that structure. That's what a lot of people are saying. So that's why people are now going crazy about it, that it matches my skin, so my natural oil, so automatically it has to work for everyone. But that is not true. It's not true, okay? Because you can find that jojoba oil, they say the same thing about it. Same with middle foam seed oil. They say that it mimics the sebum, but you find that jojoba oil, it might not be good for someone with dry skin because it absorbs too quickly, whereas it's good for someone with oily skin because it's lightweight, so it penetrates without clogging the pores. Okay, so those things are very important when stuff like this they trend, because we tend to just think, oh, skin is skin, so everybody just do what you want. But you need to know your skin type, you need to know your the structure of your skin, the environment that you're living in, because all of these things play a role in the quality of skin care products that you need to put on your skin. That's why they say hyaluronic acid helps a lot of people because it draws moisture from the air into your skin. But if you live in a dry area, it might do the opposite because there isn't much moisture in the air. You see? So whenever you see things trending, just always, you can visit my blog, but just always analyze things and personalize it for yourself. Know what's your skincare, what's your skin type, and then go read on these things so that you know, okay, is it worth you trying? Because at the end of the day, you guys are going to end up just wasting money. Although, okay, with beef tallow, unless you put in essential oils, but with beef tallow, the good thing is that you can eat it, right? But and some of the oils, you can also eat them if they are, food grade and not cosmetic grade, because also it matters how it's processed. So also that plays a huge role. So what are the advantages of beef tallow? It mimics your sebum, so that's your natural oils. So the rationalization with that is that, okay, then it must work, because your skin's sebum, it matches, but it doesn't work like that. And I'm not a dermatologist. I just really like to read on these things, and I have a blog on these, so I really do my research, and I really care about these things because I just have an interest in it. But I've also realized that a lot of people, we don't always make the calculated decisions when it comes to what we put on our skin, which is essentially food for your skin, because it penetrates. So you need to make sure that whatever you put on your skin, it also it's also going to be beneficial for where it's going, because it penetrates your skin. You know, you have this is your epidermis, then you have your dermis, then you have your hypodermis, but essentially it goes into your bloodstream. So you just want to make sure that whatever you put on your skin, it's not gonna come back to haunt you. So that's why it's important to know what your skin needs, by knowing your skin type, and knowing that, like, just knowing that, okay, if I live in Bloom, it's much drier for most of the year, so you need more moisturizing ingredients, more moisturizing products. Whereas if you lived in Cape Town, there might be more moisture than it is in Bloom, right? So just know these things. But what are the advantages of beef tallow? Matches your sebum, mimics your sebum. So, and then the good old favorite, collagen. It enhances your collagen production. It increases the collagen production. I have opinions when it comes to collagen. I think it's what we eat and what we put on our skin that it really increases the production. It's not always these shakes and whatnot. I think it's more of a natural it's more of a natural process than one that we can actually have too much control over by drinking collagen shakes. But that's my opinion. Don't shoot me over it. If you want to drink your collagen shakes, maybe we should talk about that next, right? Just for us to, because a lot of things will market, because, collagen is like the in thing and we need it. We do. For youthfulness and what. But I think that it's important that we know, what works and what doesn't, and what these things really are. Not just saying, oh, it increases my collagen, but like, how? How is that particular product doing that? I think that's important that we should know. That's why we're doing beef tallow today. So it increases your collagen production, that I can believe. And then because it's an occlusive, so an occlusive is like petroleum jelly kind of things. It's thick, it's in its consistency. It doesn't always penetrate the skin well. So it just sits. So what it does, it actually protects. It's like a film over your skin, barrier. So it doesn't necessarily, its work is not always to penetrate, but to protect like your skin barrier. That's why they always say use a water-based lotion before you use like a beef tallow or what, because the water-based will penetrate your skin, whereas the occlusives, they don't always penetrate your skin and fight the dryness or whatever it is that you're experiencing. But because it's actually meant to protect the skin barrier. It's like a sealant of your barrier, against all the environmental factors that you may experience. So that's what an occlusive does. It actually seals, and it actually creates a barrier for your skin to be protected. So occlusives are not bad, but just know how to use it. Just don't completely nullify like a good water-based cream, even if it's a thick one, but don't take it for granted and say, oh, it's watered down. No, the water is needed, for your skin to stay moisturized, because what really hydrates and what really moisturizes your skin, even your hair, is water, so that's that. And the oils are also good for your skin, but also just make sure, like, that's why also when you use a body oil, you are told to use it on damp skin so that it can penetrate better, because your skin is still moist, it's still, so that that oil can come in easy. Yeah, although on damp skin, not wet skin, damp. Yeah, because your pores are still closing up, so when it does, at least the oil gets the chance to penetrate. So it protects your skin barrier, increases collagen production. uh, it is high in vitamin A, which is very good for your skin. Vitamin A is what's found in retinol and all those things. It's found in carrots. It's found in your yellow and green, yellow, orange, and red vegetables and fruits. So vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin K, vitamin D. It's also good. So you know it has those benefits, where like the vitamin structure is really good, because we know vitamin A, vitamin E, and vitamin K, they're really good for your skin. Um so vitamin E, it's vitamin E, where can you get vitamin E? Eggs, in a lot of avocados. Yeah, you can get it in those kind of foods. So you see, um that's why skincare alone is not going to work. You have to actually eat your skincare as well, not the actual product, but meaning like foods. Find out which foods have these vitamins, so that you actually build up your skin from within before you build your skin outside. It's more protection and just making sure your skin gets what it needs from the outside. But the what matters is it's the internal. So that's why you also need to make sure that what you are putting on your skin, because it's going to go in, it's also good, because it's going to affect your internal, right? So so now, what are the side effects, or not side effects but disadvantages? This is where we're coming into skin types now, because we said uh, beef tallow is an occlusive, and it has oleic acid, uh, which is a fatty acid, right? Oleic acid is known for to help those who have dry skin, because people with dry skin like myself, uh like our we don't have pores like those. Like our pores are small, so to say. So like our pores are, that's why if you look at someone with really oily skin and look at someone with really dry skin, you'll see the difference in their pores. Your pores is like those dots in your skin, right? So you see mine, they're not that visible, right? Whereas, okay, it is visible, but someone with oily skin, you would see it. Like the minute I got like do this, mine, I still need to like pull my skin and what. But someone with oily skin, you would actually see their pores, because their pores are larger. Because like what happens with them is that their body produces oil a lot, like a lot of oil. That sebum that we were talking about, that's what happens with people with oily skin, is that there's like an overproduction of sebum. Whereas for us, for us with dry skin, there's an underproduction. Those with combination, it can be both. Like in certain areas, your skin, like if you have combination skin, like you might find that here your skin is oily, and then here your skin is dry, or the other way around. And then people with sensitive skin is just they have sensitivity, in their skin. Like they can't just put on anything, they break out or things happen. So you can have a combination of sensitive skin and maybe oily skin or sensitive skin and dry skin. And then you have normal skin that just behaves right. That it just knows how to behave like those people. So with people with oily skin, and products that are like high in oleic acid, you find that they then, when they put on something like beef tallow, uh, they break out. So it causes more acne because now it's too oily for them, right? I don't know how to say it, but it makes the oiliness worse. So yeah, that's what I was like. It clogs your pores. So with those with oily skin, you find that beef tallow might clog your pores and actually exacerbate your acne more, because now your pores are clogged, and that's the thing you don't want with oily skin. You don't want to clog your pores. Not all oily or occlusive or oils that are high in oleic acid will clog your pores, but you need to be careful when you use the heavy and dense and like castor oils and stuff like that, things that don't penetrate fast enough into the skin. They tend to then cause, more acne and more you know more things you don't want. Whereas with dry skin, it it actually helps you. It helps your sebum production to just be a little bit better, so that your skin is more moisturized for a longer period of time, instead of you being dried out too quickly. But then you find that sometimes even the oily consistency you know ingredients like shea butter, it can make you dry, so you have to. That's why I said you need to make sure that where you live, the environment, how's the moisture levels of the environment that you live in, and then find out, like, go to a dermatologist and find out what your real skin type is, and get like a personalized skin analysis, so that you know what you put on your skin and not go for the trends. Yes, beef tallow seems to be working for a lot of people, but just be careful that you can always try it, like on the inside, like this part of your skin. You can always patch test things before you put on any skin products. It's always recommended that you patch test, and then if you find breakouts, then it's not good for you. If you don't find breakouts, then you can continue. But sometimes even long-term use, it can go sideways suddenly because of many reasons. So just be careful, guys, not to always go with what the internet is telling you. Beef tallow is not bad at all. Just know that it's whether it's for you or not. All right. And do a deep dive before you put things on your skin, just because everybody says it's working. It's not even if it's a natural product, it doesn't mean that it's working. It's gonna work for us all. Even if your ancestors used it, doesn't mean it's gonna work for us all. The environment that we in, they play a factor. Your skin plays a factor. Your genetics and all those things, they play a factor. So you need to know what's going to work for you and what's going just like eating. When they always say you must eat seasonally, I'm starting to believe that the environment that you're in, it provides, because we are God's children and God created this earth and God is very smart. So I'm starting to believe that the environment that we're in actually produces what we need. Literally, when the Bible says we have everything we need, even in skincare. So like the plants that grow in your environment are most likely going to be good for you. whereas it's something that's more imported and whatnot. So, and also make sure you buy really quality beef tallow. If you're going to go ahead and buy it, make sure it's grass fed, you know, all the organic measures that are taken, because yeah, you also don't want to use just any quality of beef tallow. Make sure that it's registered, the company that you're buying from, it's registered, and all those things. So, but beef tallow, for me, I find it a little yuck to put meat on my face. I'm starting, like, I've never tried it, and I don't think I want to try it. If I want to try it, I think I might want to uh do fries in it, because I saw that it was used back then for McDonald's fries, and all the big chain restaurants actually used it as a cooking oil first. So I think it is something that would be great for cooking, especially crispy. If you want something for like crispiness and all that, it sounds like it will actually do the work. But for my face, even though I'm dry skin and I qualify maybe to put on beef tallow, I don't think I want to try it, okay? For my skin. But I do think there's good things about it, and I think there's things that you need to consider before you use it. Just make sure that you personalize it for yourself, and make sure that it it's worth trying, it's worth spending the money on. Don't just spend money on things just because everybody's spending money on that. You know, make sure. But I'm glad we talked about beef tallow, what it is, the advantages, disadvantages. The disadvantages are just it can clog your pores, cause acne, and a plethora of other things that we may not even know about. And right now, because it's trending, I think they might need to do more research on it. But just be cautious when you are trying beef tallow. Make sure that you have all the facts and you are well versed in your skin, your own skin, before you try beef tallow and all these wonderful things. If you want to use something like a beef tallow, but you also don't, you are on my boat and you're like, I don't know if I want to put meat on my face, or you're vegan, you can, it's the same as, you know, the shea butters, the cocoa butters. If you're looking for a lighter butter, you can go for like Kana King avocado butter. Avocado butter, it's not as thick as the other butters. It actually penetrates your skin pretty well. So if you are someone with oily skin, maybe you can try avocado butter instead of beef tallow, and maybe it will work much better for you. Just because you have oily skin doesn't mean you can't use oils. Because a lot of people with oily skin, they try to get the oil so out that they don't see that the more you try to scrape off that oil too much, is the more your body feels the need to produce more oil. So then you find yourself to be more oily. So sometimes you need to just balance things out with oily skin, because make sure that you reduce, yeah, the oiliness, but you don't, your goal is not to remove it entirely, because when you try to remove it entirely, that's when your problems are going to start, because your body is going to keep producing that oil, because you put it, like, you putting your body into like a panic mode, you know, your skin into a panic mode, so the sebum will overproduce, and then there's more acne because your pores are clogged. Your pores are clogged. Okay, so you can use very light oils, very light consistency, like jojoba oil. I said, like they also say with jojoba oil that it mimics your sebum, meadowfoam seed, abyssinian oil, cucumber oil, and you know, lightweight, and start with one oil and see how it works, you know. Then maybe you can even try like drying oils, so oils that really penetrate really quick, so that you don't feel too oily and too clogged up. You don't want to, the thing with oily skin is that you don't want to clog your pores, because that's what will then cause the bacteria that causes the acne. So yeah, but love your skin, take care of your skin, and don't just go for the trends. Always find out. Until next time, you guys, let me know what you think about this video and if you should do more on this. I think next time we can talk about collagen and everything you guys need to know about collagen, because I think we are the marketing for collagen, they are not being real with you guys, and I think it's necessary to always know what we are putting in our bodies so that we can get the best results. So until next time, you guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends who know the other people. No, that didn't work out the way I wanted to say. But share with your friends and your mama's friends, your daddy's, okay, not your daddy's friends, but share with your friends, all right? And then until next time, bye and God bless.